Welcome to the Six Again podcast, your new destination for all things NRL. Here to bring you everything from team news to best bets are your hosts Adam Hoy and Jarrod Newton. Let's kick off.
Welcome into the Six Again podcast, episode 2 of season 2. I'm sitting here with a Detroit Red Wings cap on with an ice hockey background, and my name is Adam.
I'm sitting here with my Bugs Bunny singlet on and my Newcastle background, and I'm Jarrod.
And we should also mention to those people, if this is your first episode, yes, we are on YouTube as well, hence why we're telling you what's on our picture. If you're new to Six Again, welcome in. We're smack bang in the middle of the off season for the NRL. We are just under 2 months to go till the start of the season. Usually we'd be amping up, but due to the differences in last season, players are still on semi-break. They are training, but it's not ramping up to the high levels that we'd expect right before the season. So in that, we've had to stretch out a bit of content, and we'll get to that later in the show. Jarrod, do you know who that is on my background?
No idea.
That's Nathan Walker. He's the only Aussie in the National Hockey League. And the reason I've got that up there is pucks drop tomorrow for their 2021 season. And he's actually a Cronulla Sharks fan and played for Cronulla Sharks Junior Club and the Cronulla Sharks under-18s. And his dad played for Cronulla Sharks as well. So that's hence why I've got him up there. He was born in Wales, moved to Australia, loved ice hockey, moved to Czechoslovakia, I'm going to say, or Czech Republic, and made his way to the NHL. So there's my rugby league connection to Nathan Walker. He's a Cronulla Sharks boy, to the point that he also played for them in the junior ranks. But anyway, what else have you been up to, Jarrod?
Nothing. My life is not remotely interesting.
Oh, excellent.
How about you?
It's been busy. I've got about a week and a half left of holidays. I run an NHL fantasy league for 12 people. 10 of them are out of the UK, and then there's my mate from Tasmania and myself. So it's been pretty hectic getting that sorted with the time zone difference. And still trying to work towards this approval on the new house. And then just playing with the kids pretty much every day, and they are running me ragged, and I love it. But I am quite tired. So I'm looking forward to just going to my mates tomorrow, watch some hockey, and maybe going to the beach. Life's tough.
Yeah, I'd hate to have that life.
Yeah. To make things better, I am working my way through a bunch of different craft beers, and my beer of the week is called Culture Kick Sour. By 10 Toes Brewing from Sunshine Coast. I'm holding it up there to the camera. Haven't had this one before. Passion fruit, mango, and blood orange sour. And it's pretty damn good. And I need that after today. So we'll have 10 Toes link in all of our descriptions as we did Black Ops last week. And as we're still in January, this episode of Six Again is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. And later on the show, we will have information how you can access their products and get quite a discount, as my mate Matt Hyde did over in the UK. G'day, Matto. And I'll tell you what, if you've got hair like Matt, you'll be pretty glad you get a Manscaped product, because god damn.
I know Matt, and I'm imagining that, and that is yes. Good purchase, Matt. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that one.
I think Sophie will as well. Like,
yeah.
it is for Matt. We used to use the saying that Blink-182 said at one of their shows. Matt would go, "I've got no hair on my entire body except for a Wolverine growing in my pants," and we're like, "Yep, that's pretty much Matt to a T." So good purchase, Matto. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting Manscaped. But let's get back to rugby league. Although there's probably a few players in there that could use the same products.
I love you, Matt.
Love you, Matt. On the show today, we've got an update on the Rugby League World Cup, which is due to be hosted in England later this year.
Doubt it.
There's a link up on NRL.com with regards to voting for your Maori and Indigenous teams. We've picked ours, and we're going to break down our selections and compare them against each other because we haven't seen each other's. Signings news, there's been another big name signing this week, piggybacking on Corey Allen signing with the Bulldogs that we broke on the show last week. We could have been the first podcast media outlet to talk about. That was pretty cool. And we're also going to have a look at probably the 10 most high-profile recruits for the 2021 season and select who we think will have the biggest impact on their club in just under 2 months' time. So we're going to lean in with not a hard-hitting story, but kind of a nice one that you don't see a lot in rugby league nowadays. But Dan Walsh has written an article on Tino Fa'asuamaleaui's signing with the Titans, and one of the key reasons outside of the money and length of deal is the family at the club. And he's not talking about the feel of the club, literally family. So since Tino has signed there, they've also got Moeke Fotuaika there and David Fifita. So Fa'asuamaleaui's currently bunking with David Fifita before his girlfriend and baby moved down at the end of January. But Titans have also signed Tino's younger brother, Isaac. They've also signed Cleese Haas and Sione Fotuaika, the brothers of Moeke and Payne Haas. Herman Sasa is also one of Tino's cousins, who also signed in the off-season. So you've got two fellas there whose younger brothers have been signed. A guy who plays just up the road, his younger brother's been signed, plus a cousin. So having 5 members of the same family all training together at the same club's kind of cool. And he said that was one of the key reasons why he signed for the Titans. His younger brother's playing with the Burleigh Bears at the moment, but Burleigh Bears are training with the Titans. So I know Jarrod and I were pretty lucky in that we got to play on the same team as each other and have our brothers on the same team. So when Billy wasn't injured, we'll say, and Kieran wasn't concussed, you'd have 2 Hoys and 2 Mutants in the starting 13, which was kind of cool. But to see it at the pro level,
actually,
it's pretty rare.
In the end, for me, it was 3 of us on the same team.
True, because Beto was playing for a season.
Yeah.
When Billy was there. So,
yep.
I don't know. If you're a Titans fan, there's a lot going on off the field that I think that sort of thing will make, I don't know, at least at training, in the change room leading up to the game, pretty special, and they'll be playing pretty hard for each other. I'd be pretty excited as a Titans fan with all the changes that they've got going on there. World Cup announcement. So World Cup is meant to be played in England this year. And Rugby League World Cup CEO John Dutton has made a couple of comments lately with regards to the vaccine that's currently being distributed in the UK. And he's kind of claimed UK or England at the moment's in the eye of the COVID storm. So if you're not a meteorologist or you haven't watched Twister 100 times like myself and my wife, the eye is you've been smashed, it's kind of calm right now, and you're about to get smashed again. So with the vaccine going out, from what it sounds like in the UK, social restrictions are still in place, but people are being much more lax about it because they hear that there's a vaccine coming. So a lot more people in public means a lot more of the virus spreading before the vaccine even gets there. So it's kind of rendering it pointless. And they're at double the number of contaminated citizens at the moment than they were in the first wave. So the latest update is that they'll make a decision in March whether to host the Rugby World Cup later in the year. was waiting for Jarrod.
I don't think they will.
There he goes.
I don't think they will. Right now, the Australian government's got to, like, the multiple countries' government's got to actually allow them over there, for one.
Yeah.
Two, the players all have to accept going. Like, you know, you've got elite Australian players 1 to 17. They've all got to go to make it a legitimate World Cup, plus the Kiwi players, plus the Scottish, you know, they've all got to go. It'd be the NRL got lucky in Australia because the government shut places down that were well on top of things. The rest of the world isn't the same, especially England. Well, they're not the worst, but you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it going ahead. I don't see it feasible going ahead. Like, you know, imagine if, I don't know, Cherry Evans, Cleary, Clemmer, one of them got the COVID, like, coronavirus. It's just not worth it. I did say this before the season started, like NRL season started, and they proved me wrong, but this is a lot bigger and a lot different because the NRL can't control what foreign governments do in their restrictions.
Exactly. And no matter how bad it's got in Australia, we've got nothing on what it's been like elsewhere in the world. We haven't, like Melbourne did for a period of time, and Sydney has. We haven't really experienced what it's like at the peak of what some of the European nations and America has been through. So what I do like to see in the report here is that they do have 3 plans of attack. They've got a gold standard, which is to run the tournament as they'd hoped. The plan B, or the silver standard they've called it, which is one I think will be most likely to happen, is to run the tournament from the 23rd of October, which is the same start date as it usually would be, but with all the social distancing protocols in place. And if you look at October, they're saying at the moment the COVID strain is going to continue to increase with regards to casual infections before the vaccine takes over. You'd hope that by October, things will be in a much more manageable environment. And I say that we hope, there's no guarantee. So the silver stands to run the October 23 start date, but under social distancing. And that'll be part of a ramp up plan, similar to what the Rugby League, the NRL did to get the comp started last year. The bronze standards to postpone it till next year, postpone it 12 months. So I do like the fact that they've come out already this early in the year and said, our plans are still to run it. However, there's caveats in place and everyone has to be safe. Otherwise, we're going to postpone it. It's good. To me, it's just good to see that they're getting this far ahead of it and at least coming out and saying what the plan is. I hope it goes ahead. In saying that, I don't want it to go ahead if it's going to be dangerous for the players. So I love watching the World Cup in the UK. It's obviously better going to it when it's over here, but getting up and watching it real early in the morning or staying up through the night and then watching it, and the players adjusting to the smaller in goals, and October over there, it's getting pretty damn cold. I know. I just love watching it over there. So I hope it does go ahead. Jumping on to injury news. The only new stuff from last week is Corey Oates picked up a hand injury at training, and we know that he is moving from the wing to the second row as a full-time position this year. He went down and consulted his surgical specialist. He does not have to go under the knife, which is good. So it's a 4-week recovery, meaning that he's a chance of playing their trial, but will definitely be good to go in round 1. But after seeing Corey Oates in the second row last year, any game practice that he could get, he'd want to take, I'd assume. So he'll be trying to get there for the February 27 trial against North Queensland, but more likely his first game will be their round 1 match.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
The Eels.
I don't think they're going to ruin him, to be honest. Risk it, sorry. It's no use. at all.
If he was their elite winger like he used to be, to me,
He still is.
Yeah, I know, but his last couple of seasons in wing haven't been that flash anyway.
Yeah, but he's like 24.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if he was still in that elite form or whatever, you wouldn't risk it. But if he's going to be playing second row this year, I'd put game time and game experience ahead of a hand injury. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's not like they're rushing him back from an ACL or an AC joint or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think the worst thing that ever happened to him was the fact that someone entertained him in playing second row.
Yeah.
Like, he was pushing, I don't know if he got an Australian jersey, but he was bloody close to getting an Australian jersey. He was put on the wing for Queensland, and as a Queensland fan, you're like, yeah, cool, big player. He can handle it. So I was very surprised
when he made the shift. He's 192 centimeters and 105 kilos. Yes, 8 games for Queensland, no games for Australia.
Size doesn't mean everything.
No, I know, but he had speed.
So, like,
crazy.
He's definitely big enough to play there, but second row you need
a motor,
hard edge. Like, there's only one player I remember who's able to successfully move from wing to second row and lock and be like one of the elite.
And he did.
And he went from wing to center, the 5'8", to bench, second row, then second row. He didn't go winger to second row. And if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's Luke Lewis.
Oh, you're going to say Kurt Gidley.
So he was a player who, he was always he earned the right to go, I'm going to play in the second row, like, kind of thing. Corey Oates is like, just put me in there. I'm sick of this kind of thing. So
and that rubbed Wayne Bennett the wrong way when he came out and said that. He's like, no, he's going to stay on the wing.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between Bennett and Seabold. Corey Oates went out of line with Bennett and said it in public.
Yeah.
And Bennett came out and goes, no.
That's I'm guessing he got it.
Yeah, he told him to do it. And then Seabold, the exact same thing happened. Seabold, maybe we'll have a think about it. And then that just shifted the focus, because you play in NRL, you should be focusing on getting your position right at all times.
Yeah.
Corey Oates was focusing on wing and second row, trying to build up second row. So it was just, it didn't work for him at all.
Did not. So, I know, take it as it is, Broncos fans. He should be right to go week 1. I think most would still prefer him on the wing, but that's our opinion. And we're not Broncos fans. We're just looking at as outsiders, we'll say. We're going to leave signings till last, because it kind of links in with the signings from the off-season, who's going to have the biggest influence. But we're kind of already at looking ahead to the All-Stars game, which will be the first kind of headline feature of the NRL season, 20th of February. So a month and a week from today. If it's anything like it was last year, this is going to be a brilliant night, because I think last year they finally got the excitement and the intrigue back to what it was the first year they had it. I love the Indigenous versus Maori as opposed to the All-Stars versus the Indigenous All-Stars. Both teams having their cultural dance and their cultural significance. And it was amazing. The women's game as well. I'm looking forward to it in the new Townsville Stadium. It's only a year old. Just on. And it should be a full house by that stage. So I'm really excited about this match. I like the fact that it is still kind of the one-off, and the players and the coaches and the teams get to have the lead up and get to talk about their culture and have an input into the jersey and talk about stories and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I always get excited to see what players put their hands up and are eligible for selection each year.
For all the reasons Adam just said, it's really good. Like the traditions come out, the culture comes out. It's really cool. I kind of sit there and go, is it going to ruin my season?
Oh, with injuries?
Yes, that it genuinely worries me. Like,
but trials happen as well, and I'd prefer.
No, I get that. I don't
want
to get someone injured then, but as a for example, say you got Dylan Walker lined up, really key part of Manly. He went and played. Des Hasler's gone, I really support you, which they should. Yeah. Tears an ACL. There's 900,000 sitting on the season for a game that is really culturally significant. But it's not a game you want to get injured for and ruin your season. That's all.
No, that's always. I think that's in the back of the players' mind, the coach's mind, the fans' mind. The other side of that is, do we throw 16 professional teams, 17 professional athletes on each one, into each other round one cold? There's nothing you can do at training that even mimics even a trial game, let alone.
No, that's right.
An early game.
I understand that how necessary it is. It's just like.
There is a worry.
Okay, a couple of years ago when they had it, Kalen Ponga, I think he was playing 6 for Maoris, I believe.
Yeah.
Every time he got the ball, and I will admit, when Kalen Ponga runs the ball from Newcastle, I get scared because he seems to.
You actually feel like if you ever watch a Newcastle game with Jarrod, you know when his ass cheeks clench. Because, like, if you're sitting on a blanket, it actually moves down the couch towards him.
Pretty much, because he runs like he's going to hurt his knee. I'm waiting for an ACL injury out of him, to be honest. Just how he runs.
How he runs. Something's going to happen eventually.
It's just that. But that's like the best example. Like, he gets injured. That's what, 600, 700 grand sitting on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, I love how Callum Ponga's 600 and Dylan Walker's 9.
Because you guys overpaid.
We're not paying him 9.
You're paying him at least 7.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You guys really overpaid on that one.
Look at this. We're talking about the NHL earlier, and they're meant to kick off. They're meant to drop puck tomorrow. They've had 4 teams already have COVID outbreaks. One team had 19 players and staff, so their first 3 games have been postponed. Their last season went longer, as the NRL's did. However, there were 7 teams who didn't make the playoffs. Their season finished. What are we in? January. Tomorrow and the day after will be their first professional game in 10 months.
Jesus Christ.
No trial games. They're having inter-club scrimmages against each other. And they got an extra week of training camp compared to the other teams.
So this is going to be the most underdone season ever.
Yeah, they've shortened the season from 88 games to 56. But in order to get it done and get them back on their normal timeline for next season, when hopefully things have settled down again, the team like Dallas, who have already postponed 3 games because they've had players out, they'll be playing 56 games of ice hockey in 110 days.
Jesus,
their season finished on time.
That's a workplace health and safety issue. That is. Jesus.
So that's literally, they'll be playing a game more than every other day.
Yeah.
Some weeks they'll be playing 5 games just to catch up on time. And in that sport, can you imagine rugby league guys having to play 3 games a week consistently?
No, it couldn't happen.
It's nuts. So I'm predicting the first 2 weeks, there's going to be injuries just everywhere.
Yeah, that's honestly gonna. Yeah, it's going to be a dodgy season in ice hockey. And
Oh,
the thing about it is, it's not like you said, 19 players. Let's say 19 players in one go, in one
yeah. So
organisation.
For each ice hockey game, you've got 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, says you're 18, plus a goalie is 19, and then your couple of bench players. That's pretty much your squad that you keep for the season, and then some players in your feeder club will move up, and you'll drop some players down.
They're going to have a lot of players in their feeder club move up. So
yeah, this year there's no feeder club starting for another 2 months, so they're allowed to carry an extra 5 people, kind of in the squad that they can interchange with. But
so the thing about it is that, like you said, 19 players in one squad have tested positive. It's not like America's slowing down right now in the COVID cases.
No way.
Are they having fans at the stadium? No. Okay.
So it's not they actually realign the entire competition into time zones. So the Canadian teams have got their own division. They're not playing any American teams. So the 7 Canadian teams will verse each other 8 times each, pretty much. Then you've got an Eastern division, a Western division, and a Central. So they're limiting the travel within their specific time zones, kind of north and south rather than east and west.
They're really desperate to play, aren't they?
Well, they have to. There's billions on the line. It's not like the NRL. So they're having to put, like ice hockey, putting sponsors on their helmets for the first time. They've renamed the divisions and given them brand names so they can keep money coming in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So back onto injuries. Yes, there's a chance that someone could get injured during this match, but honestly, I'd prefer I prefer my player to get injured playing in something like this than them going down at training like Jack Bird at the start of Broncos season last year. Because at least it's happening at the elite and they're out there getting themselves as ready for the NRL season as possible. If they get injured, unfortunately, you just got to cop it on the chin. So, our teams.
Right. I'll go my Indigenous team first.
So, yeah, you can do this on your own accord if you want. You can shoot in your teams. You can jump on NRL.com, do yours, and see how inferior your team is compared to ours or vice versa.
All right, my Kiwi team. Maori team.
Maori.
Fuck's sake. Indigenous All-Stars team.
Okay.
I said Kiwis and mistake. Okay, so I got Latrell Mitchell at fullback, obviously.
Yep.
Josh Carr and Blake Ferguson on the wings.
Ooh.
Jack Whiten and Dane Gagai in the centres.
All right, we've already got 2 things where you're wrong.
Okay.
I mean,
Cody Walker and Ash Taylor in the halves.
Wait, I can't write it down this quick.
Well, I've got it written down.
No, I'm writing down your decisions.
With Jermaine Tanua-Brown and Josh Kerr up front, with Connor Watson at hooker.
Yeah.
Then I got Wade Graham as captain.
Yeah.
Second row with David Fafita.
Yeah.
And Adam Elliott.
Ooh.
So who you got?
So there are specific players you can choose from. You can't throw in someone else. So we're kind of limited, especially in the forwards. I had a centre and a winger different to you. Oh, you had Whiten in the centres, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which means I had a half different to you. So Latrell Mitchell at fullback for me, Josh Adokar. I put Brian Kelly at left centre based off how well he played last year. I think he deserves this sort of run. You put Whiten in there, didn't you?
In the centres, yeah.
Yeah. So who'd you put at 5'8"?
Walker. That's what done me in
Walker.
Because... Sorry, Cody Walker, yeah.
Yeah, so I would have had him coming off the bench.
Okay.
And had Whiten at 5'8" to give Brian Kelly a run in the centres. So I think we talked about State of Origin last year, like how much better New South Wales would look with Whiten at 5'8", and I reckon this would be the best chance to see him at the representative stage at 5'8" and see how he runs the game.
Yeah.
Gay guy, who was your other wing?
Ferguson.
Oh, I had Alex Johnson.
Yeah.
Based off last season, to me, Johnson was a much more impactful winger.
No, he's just an athlete, Ferguson is, that's all. Like,
he is, but he really showed last year that he's a confidence player. Because when the games of no tries were piling up, he was becoming more and more withdrawn throughout games, and not putting himself in those same positions. I didn't think, but I can still see why people had put him in there, because he's a representative level player when he's on form. And then so I don't have Cody Walker, I don't have Blake Ferguson, I don't have somebody else. Whatever you said. The other winger, Ash Taylor at halfback. Yep. Josh Kerr at prop. Tanua Brown at prop. The hooker position was like meh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Wade Graham, Dave Fafita. I had Tyrone Peachy at lock over Adam Elliott, but in saying that, Adam Elliott did have a decent season for an underperforming.
No, Adam
Bulldogs
Elliott
squad.
deserves more rep time.
He does.
He really does.
I could see him getting in on the bench or Peachy on the bench, and both them being interchangeable throughout the game.
I really, and I think there's enough attack in that forward pack to have Adam Elliott just holding that middle.
Yeah, the forward pack for the Indigenous squad's nothing to write home about, I didn't think, with the selections that were offered.
Oh, I love their back row, second row. You got Fafita and Graham there. That's just
that's
insane.
Good. That's nice, and it's nice. I hope Tanua Brown really gets that step up. I didn't realize he was Indigenous heritage because he's not eligible for the Maori squad. So that's news to me. I think that backline though, however they put it together, is looking lethal. And if you're a South Sydney supporter, it's pretty much your entire backline, especially next year, with the arrival of. Oh, sorry. I was about to say Addo Carr. He's going to the Bulldogs. Sorry.
So the Maori team.
See, to me, this was opposite. Their forward pack was decent. The backs were like...
Yeah, I love their full back. All right, so I've got Charles Nickel-Cornstack at fullback.
Yeah.
Bailey Simpson and Remus Smith on the wing.
Ooh.
Joseph Manu and Dylan Walker in the centres.
You put Dylan Walker in.
Who's your other centre?
I didn't even put Dylan Walker in.
Yeah, who's your other centre? There wasn't much to choose from.
I picked Patrick Herbert.
Yeah.
And he at least played games last year and will be in, I'd say, better. And I had Rapana on the wing over Remus Smith.
I've got Luai and Hughes in the halves.
Yeah.
Jarrod Rear-Hargraves and Jesse Bromwich in the forward pack.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I had James Fisher-Harris over Warrior Hargraves.
Nah.
He outplayed him in everything last year.
No, not when they came up one-on-one. Jarrod Rear-Hargraves shat all over him.
All right, he's allowed to have one good game.
Brandon Smith at hooker.
Yeah.
Proctor and Bromwich, in the second row.
Yeah.
And then Tarpany at lock.
Okay, so we agreed more on these. I chopped and changed between Brighton Okora and Kevin Proctor. Brighton Okora just didn't play enough games last year, but he did look damn good when he got back from injury. But Kevin Proctor had probably his best year as a Titan last year, especially the second half. So I still gave him the nod, and he's a good leader for any Kiwi team he plays for. Rapana is still Rapana. He looked horrible last year because he was getting played in the centre and he just shouldn't be there. He's a winger, an out-and-out winger, and putting him on one side, Simpson on the other side with Clockstad at fullbacks, your Raiders link up there. That's why I did it that way.
I love the fact that Canberra are okay with getting rid of Nick Kotrick. Well, obviously, probably wasn't okay with it, but
they gave him a pretty sizable deal to keep him there.
Yeah, but Bailey Simpson, he's quality. He's a really
he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's not going to let anyone down. He's not as flashy. Well, Kotrick's not as... He's not as...
No, I reckon he's a like for like.
He's not as noticeable.
To be honest, they're both.
I think when they're on the
They're
field.
both big. They're both big boys. Like, I think Kotrick's probably a bit taller, but Simpson's built well enough. I would say Simpson's probably quicker.
Yeah, he is quicker.
It's just the consistency over a period of time that Simpson's got to get, but now's his chance, so it's great.
I'm really looking forward to see how David Fafita plays. I think it'll be good for him to have a run out, a serious run out first. That's not with the Titans and not with the obvious pressure that's going to come with that, and with regards to how his signing ended up occurring. So I think he's really going to enjoy the camp, enjoy the, I'm not going to say high stakes, but the players put pressure on themselves as opposed to the media putting pressure on, and the club and the fans putting pressure on. So I'm looking forward to him having a decent game.
Yeah, Fafita's just got to try and get that all out of his head and just get the ball and play on instinct.
Yeah.
He's one of those players where you just give him the ball and you don't put a plan around him. You give him the fucking ball.
Yeah. Run the damn thing.
Yeah.
Run the damn ball, as Benny would say. Just a head up, if you do go on the NRL.com, I feel like we should get sponsorship from them at this stage. There is a signed jersey up for grabs if you go in the draw and you're lucky enough to win. All right. Signings. So this has been the big news, I guess, of the week. Did it drop today? I'm pretty sure it dropped today.
Yesterday or something, yeah.
Yeah, so we knew Josh Mansour was going to be playing feeder club for Penrith, or New South Wales Cup for Penrith in the 2021 season. If he stayed there, they've chosen Charlie Staines on the wing ahead of him, and he's been told that he was free to find another club. Well, as of late yesterday, today, he has found another club in South Sydney. He did play junior football for South Sydney in the under-18s, under-20s. Adam Reynolds was actually the halfback in that team. So it's kind of a homecoming for him. He did a very classy farewell to Penrith. Suppose he got quite emotional talking to teammates. There's a clip up on the Penrith website of him saying goodbye to the club, the fans, his teammates, coaches. He put his heart and everything he had into that Penrith jersey, and he was rewarded with rep honours on the back of that. What a pickup for Rabbitohs. Bloody hell. Yeah. We're talking about Corey Allen being a loss. Different players, completely different style of players, but that's a hell of a pickup a week after losing Corey Allen.
Right now, I would probably pick Allen over Mansour.
Pick who?
Allen over Mansour.
Yes.
If I had my choice, yeah. But I had a quick look at South Sydney's top 30. They are stacked.
Yeah, they are.
Their squad. Like,
it looks really
for
good.
example, this is just back 5 players they've got. So I've taken out.
How about do it a bit different? Just read out the players who wouldn't be in your starting backline.
Okay. Tane Milne, Tauta Moga, Stephen Masters, Jackson Paulo.
Braden Burns?
Yeah. 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he made it in my thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he made it.
I want to say who you dropped.
Sorry. Yeah, he wouldn't have. So this is the players that essentially are back 4. So you got 2 wingers and 2 centers. So I'm not counting Latrell Mitchell.
Wait, no, you said Tane
Yeah,
Milne.
So I'm not counting. What's that?
No. The players that you just read out would not make your squad. I just wanted you to go through. So you said Tane Milne. Who else was there? Tauta Moga,
Jackson Paulo, Stephen Masters, and I'm saying Mansour.
Okay, so you've got Mansour, Stephen Masters, Paulo, and Tauta Moga, who all played first string footy last year. Paulo was really making a name for himself, as was Masters. Mansour and Moga were always on the team sheet when fit and healthy, and none of them are even going to make the back five in your team. That's how deep they are.
No, this isn't even back five. This is back four. So in South Sydney's back line, Latrell Mitchell's nailed down number one. Yeah. Right? Cody Walker and Adam Reynolds have taken down the halves. So there's 4 positions available in this. So out of that, we've got 9 potential people.
Yeah, it's nuts.
To put forward.
Absolutely nuts.
And then the other players, see, this is the part I was sitting there going, fuck's sake, this is ridiculous. They've really stacked their back line, but they haven't got forwards. So I had a look at the other players that they got. So they got Damien Cook, who's a starting hooker. You got Joshua Cook, who's his understudy at South Sydney. You got Troy Dargan, who's the replacement halfback. You got Dean Hawkins, who's also a replacement half. Latrell Mitchell, Adam Reynolds, Cody Walker. So they got, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players. They've got 29 currently signed. So that leaves 14 players to play in the forward pack. To fight out the probably, 5 starting spots. And then, 3 bench spots.
Yeah,
that's 8. So that means 7 forwards are sitting on the bench.
No, they're sitting in the grandstand.
Yeah, So that means that they have probably got the best depth in their back line as far as quality goes. Yeah. We'll admit that their forward pack isn't exactly stacked with talent, but they also got Arrow, they've got Burgess, they've got Tavita Totola, and they've got Murray. Yeah. So they've got 4 quality players right there. Arrow and Murray, they're going to be leading their forward pack forever, and they could play 80 minutes. So as a replacement in this South Sydney team, you are really going to struggle to get in. And on the flip side, if you're a quality player and you're not stepping up to the plate, which Wayne Bennett has a very high standard, you aren't going to. He won't hesitate in dropping you. So, look, Tauta Moga, I don't know what happened last year. So 2 years ago when he played, he scored a try. I think he had 4 tries in 2 games or something for Newcastle. And then he scored a try. As he was scoring a try, he tore his ACL, I think, for the 4th time. Everyone was depressed for him, but he came back. Last year, he wasn't there. I don't know what was wrong, but he was not there. You guys came to South Sydney. Bennett's the kind of coach who could get a lot out of him, but is he going to be able to push Gay Guy and Campbell Graham out of the centre spot? Nope. And then you got Braden Burns and Alex Johnson outside. Stephen Masters, he's a young, quality player.
Oh, Jed Cartwright as well.
Yeah, he's a winger. He's second row, sorry.
Oh, South in the backs.
Yeah, so this is... They have got an amazing amount of depth in this team.
They'd signed Jacob Host as well from the Dragons.
Yeah. They've got an amazing amount of depth.
Margot.
But the thing I want to bring up about this depth. So, Braden Burns would not be on much. Gay Guy wouldn't be on much. Oh, Gay Guy would be on about 500, I reckon. Alex Johnson, he's always been pushed down by South Sydney. I don't know why. They don't treat him the way they should. I don't imagine he'd be on much. Josh Mansour, probably on a cut price deal for Penrith probably paying part of his contract, to be honest. Stephen Masters on nothing. Jackson Paula on nothing. Tauta Moga, they would have got him at cut price. Tano Mill, nothing. Campbell Graham, I don't know if he's been upgraded yet. I wouldn't be surprised if he had.
No.
So all these players for the back 4 positions, they're not on that much money.
Rabbitohs have 4 players in the top 50 highest paid players in the comp.
Yeah. So you'll
guess 3, you won't guess the other one.
Latrell Mitchell, obviously. Is it Arrow? How much did I get in for? Either way,
they got it cheap for this season, then it kicks in.
Yeah.
You got
So
Dane Gagai on 700.
okay.
Just for this year, then he's off contract. You got Damien Cook on 900 for this and the next 2 seasons. They're their 2 highest. Cody Walker at 650 for this season and next.
Where's Latrell Mitchell?
And you got Tautau Moga at 330.
Wow. But where's Latrell Mitchell?
He's on unders till his deal kicks in. He had to take unders to move there early.
Okay. So that's the thing. South Sydney's team is stacked, but they've done it cheaply.
Yeah.
So this is
within as well.
Yeah, this is epic. You got to actually question how good their recruitment is. And Bennett's never really been good at recruitment. He just buys old heads to come in for overpriced. That's what he's been famous for. So this is going to be pretty bloody interesting. And another thing about it is, I reckon that this is the year that Campbell Graham's going to shine. I reckon he's had a few years of NRL now. He's finally built into his body. Like, if you saw him when he debuted, you'd be like, you're tiny. Yeah. And then I think he's had, 2 preseasons? I reckon one more preseason under his belt. He's going to be bigger, stronger, faster, fitter. And I reckon he's going to push for that New South Wales position, this year and really be considered.
Who was that?
Campbell Graham.
Yeah, okay. I did hear.
Yeah, because he was talked about last year, be like, maybe he's not ready. I reckon this is going to be a massive year for him. Not many people are going to be able to stop him being that big and that bloody quick. And he's got that chin on him as well.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas. Are your balls covered by a bush as thick and lush as Josh Mansour's beard? And you want to have the same precision and care looking after it as Josh obviously does? I got good news for you. Why don't you try out the Lawn Mower 3.0 by Manscaped? Manscaped's 3rd generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. No more when using a razor. Very quiet, very easy to use. Not only that, but they ballsed out on the design, so you can show your mower off loud and proud. Put it in the intelligently designed stand for charging, plug it in by USB, and you're ready to go. If that sounds like something you want to experience firsthand, head to manscaped.com and use the code word AGAIN, AGAIN, to get 20% off plus free shipping. Trust me, your balls will thank you.
Other signings, David Mead at Broncos for a year, we mentioned that, and Sorensen, we mentioned that. So that brings us to, my back 5 must have been different to yours, because I had Latrell Mitchell at fullback with Alex Johnston and Mansour on the wings, and then Gagai and Graham in the centres.
Either way, whoever they pick, they can't do too much wrong.
No.
Because Jackson Paulo, he would actually be run on winger and their strike weapon in about 70 to 80% of the other teams in the competition. He is real. I'd be stoked if I signed someone like him. He's a really solid player. And then, Tane Milne's a bit of a journeyman, but he's still 24, 25.
Yeah.
If he comes in, you're not going to be like, yes, we can run over him. He's a quality player.
And Braden Burns kind of reminds me of Peter Hiku. He was never the first name on the sheet, but when he was there, I was going,
yeah, no. Well, Braden Burns, I think, is another guy who could really blow out his potential because he is a talented player, but he's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
a lot of injuries as well.
So talking about Josh Mansour, he's not on this list. It was done previously, but I've got 10 names here for you with regards to off-season signings and big name signings that have shifted clubs or been renewed at a club, and who's going to have the most significant impact on their team. So we've got Jai Arrow moving from the Titans to the Rabbitohs. Jack Bird moving from Broncos to Dragons. Kotrick moving from Canberra to Bulldogs. Tino Fasamawale going from Storm to the Titans. David Fafita going from the Broncos to the Titans. Aden Fanua-Blake going from Manly to the Warriors. Kieran Foran going from Bulldogs to Manly. Tyson Frizzell going from Dragons to the Knights. Harry Grant being renewed at, fulfilling his contract
not even
at Melbourne.
say that one.
So he's not really going anywhere. And James Tarmo moving from Penrith to West Tigers. Yes. So a lot of big names there, a lot of representative names there. I believe everyone's a representative name there, actually.
They are big names, but I'm not overly excited about too many of them. Obviously, the Titans have picked up this forward pack, which is going to be good to see, but I don't know. I think they, barring the Titans with their pickups, I reckon that. How do I put this? That I'm not dropping in my mouth going, holy fuck, I can't believe that player left. He's just going to make such a huge difference to that squad.
I don't think it needs to be a mouth-dropping thing, but I'm looking at that list of 10 going, I can see 7 of them making a pretty big impact in their first season at their club.
The one that sticks out to me is probably ones that isn't a lot of people thinking about, but I reckon Jack Bird fit. He's an Australian player.
Yeah.
I know he got a lot of criticism, and probably I don't know how much it was deserved. I didn't like too much what he was doing over at Broncos, for the amount of money he was on and all that kind of stuff. But he's going back to his hometown. That's where his junior club.
Is Jack Bird your answer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's going back to his home. Well, see,
because the question I pose you, which player do you think will have the biggest impact on the team?
Yeah. I reckon he has the ability to do some damage in that St. George team because they've been lacking creativity for about 3 years. That's been their biggest criticism. They can grind teams out, but they just can't score tries. That's what he'll bring. And I'm really hoping they put him somewhere at lock. Just to get in there and create some damage, do some offloads, and make him work. Make him have to get in there, not hide out in the centres. Make him work because he has the size and the ability to play in there. He's not going to be a Dale Finucane, Adam Elliott kind of lock. He's going to be a flashy one who's going to create damage in the middle by stepping and offloading and creating half gaps and stuff like that.
I can't remember where he played when he started at Cronulla. Is it centre or 5'8"?
Centres. Yeah, centre or 5'8", one of the two. And you know what? An article came out the other day. He's actually been training in the second row at St. George.
Yeah, right.
So that's going to create that kind of Wade Graham impact that he's been so good at St. George, at Cronulla. Sorry, a ball playing second row out in the left hand or right hand side who can kick, who can put people in gaps, but the only thing I'm worried about Jeff, he's got to run those holes like Wayne Graham does.
Yeah.
So if Anthony Griffin can get that out of him, I reckon he could come close to, cracking New South Wales again. He has that ability.
Oh, that was my bet at the start of last year. Jack Bird's going to be fit to get his New South Wales, and then he did his training.
Okay, so I'm taking that one. I think it's kind of flown under the radar a little bit with Jack Bird going there because he's had such a rough couple of years, but I just think he has the talent. The only thing that I see stopping it is I feel like St. George have a very relaxed attitude out there. They're not Corey Norman is the sort of player that I feel like cuts corners at training, because he's so.
That's on Jarrod.
I know.
That's on Jarrod.
He's just so relaxed and calm, but it's not a calming influence on anyone else. It's only for him. That's what I see in him. So I'm hoping he doesn't take that. But Griffin's supposed to be a hard taskmaster, so see what happens. But that's my call anyway. What's yours?
I don't know if my answer could be similar to that or as far away as possible. Kind of looking at the same position, I guess, but probably like the one of the biggest rising stars of last year. I think the pickup of Tino Fa'asuamaleaui by the Titans, the style of play that he does, is what the Titans were hoping they were going to get from Bryce Cartwright when he went up there.
Yeah.
That the back rower, Tino runs a hell of a lot harder than Bryce Cartwright does, but I see the next evolution of Tino's play is those offloads, the one hand, a little bit more of the ball playing role. Now that he's had time in the NRL, where we just want him to run the ball, and you saw it in his first Origin game, he was trying to do too much, and then he came out second half and just ran the damn thing. Not only that, but the fact that he's coming from Melbourne to the Titans. Kevin Proctor came from Melbourne to the Titans. Different timing, different coach, but with Holbrook in charge, I really see him as the coach who's going to be in Tino's ear, not so much with instruction, but with questions. How do you get the best out of yourself? How do you play games like this? What is your lead up sort of thing? And really, I see Holbrook holding on to a lot of the stuff that was being done down at Melbourne that's made Tino so successful so quickly. Having that in play in a starting forward pack is going to give that go forward that the Titans lacked at the start of last year and they picked up towards the end. You have him with Fodawaker. You have him with, I'm missing the other one right now, Herman Sasa, another pickup, and getting that go forward, giving Ash Taylor and Fogarty more time, Brimson more time. Brimson, his highlights last year, half of them were in scattered play where the defense had rushed the Titans and the ball had been flicked to him and he did some magic. Imagine him with time and being able to sweep and move wherever he wants to. Yeah. We saw what Fogarty did for Taylor, giving him more time. I think with Tino at the back, Fafita on one side and them getting the go forward, especially if Tino starts bringing in a bit of ball playing, similar to a Jake Trbojevic at Manly, but hopefully less often, and mixing that in, I see his impact on the Titans being massive. Massive.
Yeah. And okay, sorry.
Also the flexibility of him being able to play second row, prop, or lock. So he went through all positions, and bench. I went through all positions at Melbourne, also giving them then the flexibility.
So
Fanua was a close one as well for me because Des Hasler's a hard taskmaster as well, same as Griffin. And when Fanua Blake was on the field, he was outshining to power for a season and a half, and it's pretty hard to do that. And the Warriors getting a prop like that, it was a pretty close second, I thought, with regards to the impact on the whole team.
Yeah, so I do agree with that. Tino absolutely has the ability to change it. But I think you hit it right when you said that hopefully he's not one of the Melbourne players who leaves and doesn't hold on. There's been a history of a lot of Melbourne players being absolute superstars when they play for Melbourne, and then they kind of drop because they don't have that same discipline. I think, okay, so maybe discipline's on the grounding is probably the correct word.
So a lot of Melbourne Holbrook as a coach that would hold that quite dear.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, he's going there for a lot of money. Same with Fafita as well. It's not so much Fafita at Melbourne, but like Fafita's he started under Bennett, who would have been grounded him, and then had Seabold, who pretty much went, "You're the best player. Do what you want," kind of thing. And I hope that they can move as a pack and enjoy their successes and not be individual at Gold Coast, because they have the forward pack to go so far. And as you said, Brimson off the back of that forward pack is epic. That's going to be the biggest challenge, living up to expectations this year. So, yeah.
So if you think it's one of the other 10, hit us up. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we're right. Preferably the latter. Just updates with regards to the show. That's our content for the night. We are on a new platform called Podchaser, and the link for Podchaser will be in the write-up of this episode. Ratings and reviews are really important because it helps us get noticed on some of the bigger podcasting channels, and just helps us out hopefully in the long run. And the advantage of Podchaser is you can rate and review no matter what platform you listen on, because it's their own website in their own right, and you can jump on there and provide a rating and a review. That would be doing us a huge solid. Keeping an eye out on your teams. Everyone's just in training mode at the moment. Remember, trials don't kick off till February 27th. And next week, Jarrod's got a quiz show for us, and we've reached out to a couple of people to help us with season previews for certain teams that will start kicking off in the next couple of episodes. So really looking forward to those. Until then, check out some ice hockey if you've never watched it before. Anything from you, Jarrod?
Nah, I'm all good.
Brilliant. Thanks again to Manscaped. Jump on the link in our bio. Have a look at their products. Remember, 20% off with the code word again, plus free shipping. See you next week.
See yous.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Six Again. Connect with the show on Twitter, Instagram, and the Six Again website. All links via the show's bio. Be sure to check out Adam's craft beer choice of the week.